Andrew is the National Sales Manager for Henry Schein Hallis. He has over 25 years of experience in the dental industry, both in Australia and New Zealand, originally coming over as the General Manager of Hallis until the merger with Henry Schein. And as you know, Henry Schein Hallis is a great supporter of the Australian Society of Orthodontists and have a wonderful benefit program that's been going for a number of years and has been very successful and very beneficial for Australian orthodontics. Andrew has a passion for getting the best out of people, and he obviously enjoys training his sales team and talking to anybody by the measure of things, of how to get the best out of a customer relationship and have to do best for your customers in that relationship. So without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Andrew to the podium to start the first of a two-part presentation. The next one's on Monday on business from the heart.
Thanks, Tess.
Mr. Andrew Hoggard.
All right. So I've been given 30 minutes to talk, which for me, I'm normally saying hello by 30 minutes. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for me, but I'm going to do it quick, I'm going to do it good, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. I was thinking it's probably going to be a little bit like Mickey Mouse doing cocaine, you know, by the time we finish this thing. But anyway, who's having a good time here at the conference? Yeah? Seriously, are you telling me the truth? I mean, where could you rather be? We're in Adelaide, you could be out in the Barossa Valley, but you're here, stuck, locked up on a Sunday afternoon. So were you telling me the truth? Or? Oh, you were! That's good. It's good to tell the truth. Okay, so, all right, business from the heart, and there it is up on the board. What does that mean? Well, I guess, you know, in talking about business from the heart for me, I have this inherent belief that education doesn't change your behaviour. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, to illustrate this story, you will have the GP who sits in front of his patients and says, "Do not smoke, it will kill you." And then the patient goes out to pay their bill, and while they're out paying their bill, he's out in the alleyway lighting up a fag. Why does he do that? I guess for me, the thing is, in his head, he knows the right thing to do, but it hasn't translated down here to his heart to make a change, where he says, you know what? I think I'd like to stop doing that thing and make a change. And so I suppose, you know, for any real change to happen, it needs to translate from our head down to our heart. And that's what I mean by business from the heart. So you know that guy, Tony Robbins? You heard of him? Charges people $5,000 to go and hear him. He says stuff like, "What man can conceive, he can achieve." Gets you to walk across hot coals. Charges you $5,000 to go and hear him. I'm going to share everything that he shares with you for free. Isn't that good? It's pretty good. Well, I was thinking maybe some of the stuff that he shares. And, you know, I hope that, you know, when I talk about stuff falling from here into here, I hope that some of the stuff that I share with you today and tomorrow in this very short moment we have together will fall off the wall and land in your heart and maybe change your life. Not asking for much, I just want to change your life. All right, so let's get into this then. All right, on a Sunday afternoon in Adelaide. First thing I want to talk about is doing business. And I thought, you know, because it's business from the heart, let's talk a little bit about business to kick off with. And, you know, I think a lot of the things that we do in life is about thinking differently. So when I say sometimes we need to think differently and do things differently, sometimes we don't need to do very much to make a big change. So here's a little story to share that with you. There was a hairdresser in a small US country town. He charged $25 for haircuts, and he made a killing because he never had a competitor in his life. But one day, a salon opened up right next door with a big sign in the window that said, what? $6 haircuts. Well, what's the first guy going to do? He's in trouble. If he kept his price at $25, he'd lose a number of his customers, and he may not get them back. But if he dropped his price to $6, he may drive the competitor out of business, but he could go broke himself because he can't afford to take $19 off his margin. So what he did, you know, I think often in Australia and maybe in New Zealand too, we often match the sale or maybe lose the customer. But what this guy did was outstandingly successful and something that I think we could all learn from. He kept his price at $25 and he put a big sign in the window that said what? You see, here's the thing, in terms of what you do with the people that come in the door in your orthodontic practice, sometimes you don't need to do very much to do something quite significant. It makes an enormous difference. And I know you're sitting there looking, I want one of those haircuts, right? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that look in your eyes. So, let's talk about it in another way. Which one do you want? The one on the left or the one on the right? Right. Why the one on the right? It's black. Flash. It's flash. It's hard to hear up here. I'm going deaf. It's flash. What else? Newer. Updated. Yeah, and like we could go on sharing stuff, and there's a number of things there, right? But at the end of the day, the one on the left, it's a box. It's got a keyboard. You can probably do your word processing, probably do your practice management stuff. You might even look at some digital x-rays. You can do all that kind of stuff on it. So really, the one on the left, there's nothing wrong with it. But the one on the right, there's everything right with it, isn't it? This is the thing. And you know what? If I had 5 hours, I could stop here and talk about this slide. But we don't have that, so let's do it quickly. How many things in your life do you stand there, sometimes in a defensive mode, and say, well, this is the way we do it in our practice, or at home, in our marriage, or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with it, versus how do you take the nothing wrong with it and turn it into an everything right with it? And you see, that's the beautiful thing. And that's the challenge for all of us. I think often we justify things in our working day, in our personal lives, and we say there's nothing wrong with it. How do we take it to an everything right with it? I heard someone share this once, stuck with me all year. I thought about this one thing all year. Well, I thought about some other things as well. But this stuck with me, and I think it's very profound. And maybe even if today you stopped right here and said, what are the nothing wrong with it that are running? Maybe in our systems. Maybe, I know a lot of you are working, doing a lot of the hard work in the practice. And what are some of those things where maybe you're justifying it? And maybe if you changed it a little bit, it might be like the haircut story. So first thing in terms of business from the heart, what are some things that you could do differently? So in today's session, I'm going to give you 4 things for your heart, and I hope some of them fall off the wall and land inside. So the first, here they are. Here's the 4 things. Reflect more, have you hit the wall, getting out of bed, and building a balanced business. All right, so to kick off, this first one, reflect more. There was a group of people over the age of 86 years old, and they were asked a simple question. If you could live your life over again, what would you do? To which almost everyone in the group said one thing, that they would reflect more. So to illustrate this point, a little bit like me now, there was this professor standing in front of a university group, and he asked a simple question to the class, how long have you lived? To which someone up the back said, 24 years! And he said, no, that is how long your heart has been pumping blood. To which he then went on to explain what he really wanted to say, is that the moments when we're really alive in our life are when you take hold of a moment in time and the moment lives on long after the moment is gone. So you are able to reflect on it and live through it. So maybe you're sitting there thinking now, maybe I've got a moment like that. Well, I've got a moment like that. I'll share it with you now. And yes, it's true. I used to have hair and it was black. And I'm standing somewhere. Where am I standing? Anyone know? New York, where? No, it's not the Empire State Building. That's the Empire State Building there. The one with the point on top, that's where King Kong climbed up, got his girlfriend. Which, where am I? Sorry, someone yell it loud. Be bold. You don't know? World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, standing up on the top of the 121st floor on this balcony. Pretty cool, because that's not there anymore. And I've still got my little blue ticket. World Trade Center. Went up there. And as you can see, the fashion god that I was, and my yellow singlet, my green shorts, and my pair of red Puma basketball boots. Man, I look sexy. And I'm standing up there, and I can remember the wind blowing into my face, and you can see it hitting my belly button there in the singlet, and the wind was blowing so strong that it's blowing the tears in my eyes into my ears. It's seriously windy up there, and you can feel this hover in the building, and that moment, even as I describe it to you now, I can feel it right now. However many decades later than than that moment. And so repeating the question again, the professor said to the class, "How long have you lived?" To which the guy at the back says, "Well, when you put it that way, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes." The point that he went on to say is that most of us spend our lives in the all too few moments of time when we're really reflecting, when we're really gathering the moment, when we're really alive. And you see, if you ask these people over the age of 86 what they would do again, they would say this, that they would reflect more. How often do you reflect? Reflect on the good things that happen. I know what it's like to be in business. You know, you're often rushing through the day and you haven't got any time to think about the good things that happen, all those lovely people that you treated and gave them a beautiful smile, and you're rushing into the next day. But these people over the age of 86 said if they could live their life over again, they would reflect more. So maybe there's one thing for your heart, maybe one thing you can take away today. Spend more time reflecting, because it all goes by so quickly. Time to reflect. All right, next thing up. Have you hit the wall? And I don't know about you, who knows what that is? Pink Floyd? That's very esoteric thinking. Yeah, but the wall, it is. It's a brick wall, right? Actually, there's no wrong answers in anything I say. You could tell me it's an elephant. I'd probably believe you. But yes, it's a brick wall. Who's seen that movie, Run, Fat Boy, Run? Anyone seen it? Comedy thing, yeah, Simon Pegg. He's this fat guy. He's not really that fat. He's got a little bit of a paunchy thing. And his friend says to him to run the London Marathon. He's doing a bit of coaching with him. He says, at some stage in a marathon, you do not know when it will happen, but you will hit the wall. And at that point, it will be your choice whether you break through the wall or you stay stuck on the other side. So he's running in the London Marathon and bam! He hits one of these things. But it's not an imaginary brick wall, it's a real brick wall. It's as high as he can see, to the left, to the right, down, cannot get past it. Really cool scene in the movie. Goes up to the wall, pushes a brick, falls through, looks through to the other side, and who does he see? But himself going, come on, keep going, keep going. And all the ghosts in his head, all these voices that are saying, oh, you can't do it, you know. Not such a good relationship with his wife. His kid doesn't like him. The people at work think he's a nerd. All start running through his head. And he runs at the wall. Bang! He hits it and it hurts. Second time he has another go. Hurts again. Third time he manages to run through the wall and keep going. And that's a happy story and that's a movie. But what I loved about it is, you know, when you're facing a brick wall, are you able to see yourself a little bit like the guy, beckoning yourself on, saying, come on, let's do it. What's that? It's another brick wall, damn right. And that's what we're going to do. The rest of this presentation is just going to show you photos of brick walls that I've taken around Australia. And I wanted to show you this brick wall because there was a guy called Randy Pausch. And I don't know if anyone's heard of him. Look him up on YouTube. It's a thing called The Last Lecture. It was a lecture that he did to his students. It's 86 minutes long if you've got the time. And I guess if anyone should know, he should be able to say something like this. And he said this, the brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give you a chance to say, how badly do you want something? And he should know. Because his last lecture, he's dying of pancreatic cancer. He's standing up in front of this classroom and he said, my father always said I should identify the elephant in the room. So there it is, puts up an x-ray of these 3 tumours in his stomach that are like as big as basketballs, drops down to the ground, does 1-arm push-ups. He goes, the funny thing is, I'm fitter than most of you in this room. And he was someone that was able to say, those brick walls are only there to give you a chance to say, how badly do you want something? So maybe today, if you're facing a brick wall, you might be facing a brick wall right now, 4:30 listening to this stuff on a Sunday afternoon. Whew, hard work. But whatever it is, I guarantee you, if you're facing something like that, you're able to get through it. What about this one? Maybe sometimes you feel like you hit the ceiling, you know. Gone as far as this orthodontic practice is going to go. We can't go any further, can't take any more patients. That's it. We've hit the ceiling. No more room for growth. And I guess if you feel like that, it will be so, right? Because if you say those types of things, that is as far as you're going to go. Do you feel like you've hit the ceiling? Maybe you feel like this. What's that? It's kind of like Grand Canyon. I haven't got time to mess around too much today, but it's a plateau, right? And often it's a big flat expanse of nothing. And often our lives can be like that plateau. You know, we've gone as far as we're going to go. Everything's flattened out. No real room for growth. Nowhere to go. So you can feel like you hit the wall, maybe hit the ceiling, or you plateaued, or maybe we could face something like this. Hi. What's your name?
Sharon.
So here's Sharon and I, and we're in prison. And it's nice to be in prison with you, Sharon. I'm quite enjoying it. And this is the view that we have. So that's the view that Sharon and I are looking at, a nice little gap between the bars. And Sharon's looking out that little gap, and she's thinking, you know, when I get out of here, I can't wait to get down to, what's that beach in Adelaide? Glenelg. I'm going to buy a beautiful apartment down there, going to get myself a convertible sports car, and I'm going to buy a winery.
That's not what I'm thinking.
No?
No, I'm thinking how I'm going to follow your lecture with mine.
Oh, okay. This lady's after me. Okay, so anyway, we're in this prison, and I'm going to say that's what she was thinking. And there's me, and I'm looking at that same view, and I'm thinking, you know, I am in jail. There is no way I'm going to get out of here. I'm stuck. And that's my view. There's Sharon and I. One person is looking through the bars outside to the stars beyond, and the other person is stuck in their view. So I guess it's, you know, what do you see? There's the same view, the two prisoners, one seeing the bars and one seeing the stars. How do you see your life? So if you're facing one of those brick walls, I remember once I was talking to 150 ladies in Adelaide, and one of the ladies, her brick wall was she turned up 10 minutes late to hear me speak. And till lunchtime, she could not get past this fact. Oh, I'm so sorry I was late. I think there were 3 cars on the road in Adelaide, and, you know, it was a traffic jam. And you know, that's why she was late. But sometimes when you're facing a brick wall, you can get through it. Okay, so moving right along, getting out of bed. And what do I mean about getting out of bed? I want us to consider very quickly a concept over the next few minutes which may just dramatically change your business life and your personal life. Relates to what I call our purpose, our set of values, our reason for getting out of bed, those deeply held beliefs that you and I have inside us. And I call it the why. So to illustrate this point, I want to talk about Apple for a moment as a company, because I think most of us know Apple. So why is it that Apple are more innovative year after year after year than their competitors? They're a computer company. They have the same access to the same talent, the same resources, but yet they seem to have something different. And as it turns out, most of the great inspiring organisations in the world and inspiring leaders have a pattern which they follow. They all think and act and communicate in the exact same way. And it's complete opposite to everybody else. This is not mine, it's something called the Golden Circle, which will help you maybe understand this whole thing of why we get out of bed in the morning. So this little circle here will explain why some leaders and some organisations are able to inspire and others aren't. So I'll explain the terms quite quickly. Every single person on the planet pretty much knows that. What? I am a hygienist, or I am a practice manager, or this is what I do. So we know what we do. Some of us even know how we do it, whether you call it your added value or your point of difference. But very few people or organisations on the planet know this thing here, their why. Why, I mean by we're not in business to make a profit, that's an end result. Why, I mean, is what's your cause, what's your belief, what gets you out of bed in the morning. And as a result of the way we think and act and communicate, it's either from the inside out or the outside in. And these great and inspiring organisations think from this way. They start with this thing, the why, which is probably a bit of a fuzzy thing, a bit hard to understand. What is my why? I don't know. I don't know why I get up in the morning. Just go to work. Just do stuff. But the great and inspired people start here. So let's talk about Apple for a moment. Now, if Apple were just like everyone else, and that's one of the first Apple computers, you could buy it with that mahogany case. It's pretty sexy, isn't it? Bet you all want one of those right now, don't you? They would say something, if they were like everyone else, they would say something like this. We are Apple, we make great computers. That's their what. They're beautifully designed and user-friendly. That's their how. And do you want to buy one? And you go, don't know. Maybe, maybe not. You see, that's how most sales and marketing is done. We say what we do, we say how we do it, and then we expect a result from what we do. So, here's how Apple actually communicates. They start at the center, at their why. Here it is. Everything we do We believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. That's their why. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products user-friendly and beautifully designed. We just happen to make great computers. Do you want to buy one? What does everyone say? Yeah, we want to buy one. You see, what this proves, now start thinking about what you do now, is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They're buying into a reason. When they come to see you in your orthodontic practice, they're buying into your why. So what's your purpose? What's your reason for getting out of bed in the morning? Because if your customers only know your what or your how, often you'll find that people won't believe in you. It's important to find your why. I was at this big conference one time, and shouldn't be saying this in front of all these ladies, but I was in the men's toilet. Have any girls ever been into the men's toilet? Anyway, there's this kind of wall, and they stand there. I'm not going to be graphic about it, but I'm standing there, and, you just want to do your own thing, when you're there. And this dentist comes up to me and goes, "Hi, Andrew." "Hello." He goes, "I just want you to know I'm thinking about my why." I said, "Good for you." All right, so it's important to find your personal why. Okay. Boy, it's tough getting through this today, but I want to talk now about building a balanced business. What does that mean? Well, to give you a sense of what I mean, I want to talk about this. Anyone remember this TV show, Cheers? Great show. Some of you are too young to know what I'm talking about. Some of you have seen it about 10 times on Foxtel. So, my friend John goes to see Natalie to get a haircut in Brisbane. Goes in and first time he sees her, he gets the head rub, gets the cappuccino, he gets the latest copy of Gentleman Quarterly, and he gets a haircut. That's pretty good. Next time he goes to see her, Natalie's running a bit late. You ever done that in your practice? Bit stressed. Head rub's gone right out the window. Gets a dirty glass of water, no cappuccino, and he gets a 1963 Woman's Weekly that says Elizabeth Taylor has just married Richard Burton for the 3rd time. And he gets a haircut. Did he get the same thing? Kind of. He got a haircut, but the experience was totally different. So what do I mean by cheers? Well, I took this word cheers and I created a little vision out of it because I loved the show, and I thought what was cool about Cheers is everyone who came to that bar, Sam's Bar, got the same treatment every time. The big guy Norm would come in. "Norm, you want a beer?" Boom, there's his beer. And so I took cheers and I broke it down into this. What does the word cheers mean to me? A consistent, high standard, enjoyable experience that's reliably systemized. You see, if you can drive that kind of stuff and particularly give people stuff at a consistently high standard with reliable systems, they're going to come back to you time and time again. And you remember the theme song, right? We could sing now. That'd be nice, eh? On Sunday afternoon. It'd be like going to church. Sometimes you want to go to a place where everyone knows your name and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to go where everyone knows your name. I was up in Brisbane the other day. I said, "Where's a great business around here?" This guy says, "Oh, this pizza place out here." I said, "Why is that good?" He goes, "Oh, I go there every Friday night with my wife. Last Friday, we were so drunk, we couldn't drive home. The owner drove us home." Wouldn't you go back to a place like that every weekend? The owner drives you home. But you see, people go back time and time again because they want to have a consistently high standard experience with enjoyable, with reliable systems. So let's talk about a few businesses that do this stuff. Anyone been to Disneyland? Okay, so I'm standing outside Walt Disney World at 9:30 in the morning, and the train pulls in, and there's Mickey and Goofy and Donald and all the characters waving at all the kids, and this voice from heaven, actually it wasn't from heaven, it was from the speakers in the trees, goes, "Welcome to the happiest place on earth." And I start crying. 40 years old, and I start crying. My kids are looking at me and go, "What's wrong with you?" But the emotion and the feeling in this place is so strong that you want to stay there. You want to never leave. It's midnight the same day. I'm still there. Tinkerbell's flying across the sky. Fireworks are going off. And I don't want to go home. I want to die there. It's such a great place to be. I'm walking through the park and I say, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the bathroom is?" "Oh, sure, it's over there." "You have a magical day." "Oh, okay." Could you tell me where I could get some souvenirs from?" "Oh, sure, sir, it's over there. You have a magical day." "Oh, okay." Where could I get some film for my camera? Oh, it's over there. You have a magical day. Everybody's telling me to have a magical day, so why wouldn't I? They're all telling me to do it. You see, when your business is that good that people are telling you that kind of stuff, consistent, high standard, enjoyable experience, people come back for that kind of stuff again and again. Let's take it a bit locally. Anyone been to this place? It's in Cronulla in Sydney. Grind, it's a coffee shop. Just like a normal coffee shop, I guess, in many ways. But what's interesting is inside the coffee shop, there's all these photos on the wall. What are the photos of? They're of you and me on our holiday, standing with a sign in our hand that says, what? I'd rather be at Grind. When your business is that good that your customers are going on holiday, taking photos of themselves with a sign that says, I'd rather be at Grind, you know you've got something. I'd rather be at such and such orthodontic practice. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So your customers start to advertise for you. Wow, consistent, high standard, enjoyable experience. And there it is. I'd rather be at Grind. And this place, there's a million places you can go for coffee in Cronulla. This place, every morning at 7 o'clock, there's 30 people lined up out on the street. Why? Because they're coming back for that same thing. Consistent, high standard, enjoyable experience. Anyone know this guy? Michael Jackson. Anyone seen the movie? This movie, This Is It. It was a story about a show they were going to put on in London. They were going to do 50 shows back to back. And this movie chronicled the dress rehearsals right up to that point. And unfortunately, of course, as we all know, Michael Jackson died and they never got to shift the show to London and do the show. But there's this great scene at the end of the film where the whole cast and crew, a little bit like us now in the room, are standing in a big circle holding hands. And the producer of the show says, you know, it's been the experience of a lifetime working with Michael Jackson. Michael, do you want to say a few words to the crowd, to the crew? And Michael Jackson walks into the middle of the circle and he says, you know, he says, you know, we're going to put on 50 shows and I can give them my best, but I'm asking you, will you give them an experience they'll never forget? Will you give them an adventure of a lifetime? Will you give them love? And I thought, what a cool guy. Doesn't matter what sort of a nincompoop you thought Michael Jackson was. He was absolutely committed to giving his customers a consistent, high standard, enjoyable experience with reliable systems. If you don't believe me, watch one of his clips. Bombs going off, tanks, crazy stuff. Absolutely committed to giving his customers the best. And so I guess the question for us now is, are you prepared to give your customers the best? Are you prepared to give them something like that? So just as we close up, let's look at a clip here about a guy that I think gives his customers a cheers experience.
Wake up at 5:30, get in the shower, do my morning routine, and go around 7 o'clock to come to work. I am so excited to go to work, so I do a dance off in the parking lot. It's a dance of magic. We serve breakfast, lunch, and hugs. The hugs are the best part. I am Tim Harris, and this is my place. Oh yeah. Hey guys, welcome to my place. How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Oh. Those are the best part, buddy. I love you. Have you been here before? I've never been here before. Well, I'm Tim. I'm the owner. Tim's place is the special place to be at because it's run and operated by me. You guys are doing a great job back here. I love you guys. You guys are the best cooks ever. Since I was a kid, I wanted to own a restaurant and I asked my dad to help me out. I'm very glad I did. Thank you, Dad. I love you so much. I love you too, buddy. I'm very proud of you.
When he was about 14 years old, he told us that someday he was going to own a restaurant. After we all gulped and gasped, we began to take him seriously, and the result is history in the making.
That's part of me so I can live on my dreams.
I'm amazingly proud of my brother. Just what he's accomplished in his lifetime. I mean, people can only dream, you know?
I love you, Mom.
As far as we know, we have not yet found another person with Down syndrome in this country that owns their own restaurant. We hope that other people will, though.
My favorite part of all is the people coming through that front door. How are you doing today? Good, how are you? Sometimes customers get sad. I give them a hug and they feel a lot better.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
The hugs are way more important than the food. The food is food, so. How about a double hug? Yeah, double hug. Love you guys. I am a mean hugging machine. Oh yeah.
So let me get this straight. So
Yeah.
you're a restaurateur.
Yes.
And
A special Olympic
special
athlete.
Olympic athlete, and you won a gold medal.
I've won more medals than Michael Phelps. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did not let my disability crush the dreams. With people with disabilities, they can do anything they set their minds to. They're special. We are a gift to the world.
Cool, huh? It's good, yeah. See, people buy things for different reasons. My mum goes to the most expensive dentist in Auckland City. I say, Mum, why do you go see that guy? Because he's a nice man. That's why she goes, because he's a nice man. I went and said to him, I said, you know, Alan, you know why my mum comes and sees you? Because you're a nice man. It's not because you're an excellent dentist. It's because you're a nice man and you look after my sister. He said, well, it's good that I just happen to be an excellent dentist as well, isn't it? You see, we all shop for different reasons. So, in closing for this afternoon, hopefully if you like what you heard, I'll be here tomorrow as well, tomorrow afternoon. Before we go any further, I hope I've left you with one or two things. And maybe one thing you could ask yourself, what's your why? You may know very well your what, or your how, or the reason why you come to work, but you maybe haven't gone to that fuzzy place. So maybe today and maybe tonight, think about, what is my why? What's my reason? Because I can guarantee you, if you know your why, it's going to make the good times great and the hard times able to navigate through. Because if you know why you are doing what you do, it will help you have that purpose. Take time to reflect. Power of reflecting, your wins, your highs, your lows, some of the things we do. And maybe you can give somebody a cheers experience today. Maybe it's not physical hugs like Tim, but maybe there are some hugs in the way that you do things, that smile, that kind word, that way you treat people over the telephone. So I hope that you find some renewed energy while you're here at this conference, some vitality for both your personal life and your business life, because we're all on a journey, right? We have our personal goals and our business goals. And I hope they're going like this, because if your personal goals are over here and your business goals are over here, your life can be a little bit wonky. So I trust that you'll have some time to think about probably the most important thing, your heart. What are you doing? So I'll see you tomorrow.